This is Drop and Drop Out, the weekly podcast where a mix of gamers come together to talk all about video games. Tonight, we are talking about what is certainly the demise of physical media with the latest news from both PlayStation and Xbox that we will be jumping into. But we don't want to only talk bad news. We want to have some appreciation of physical media, past and present. I'm your host, Patrick, and dropping in this week, the homie Jake Twitch. And Jake, how are you?
I'm doing surprisingly well, given the dire circumstances in our little communities these days.
Yeah, I love that.
Doing well.
Also dropping in Jerica, a.k.a. Jerkachu. Jerica, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Okay. I still can't buy Pokemon cards, and I hate that. And then soon, I can't buy physical games. If you would have told, I don't know, 8-year-old Jerica that this was the future, I'd been like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't want to grow up. I don't want to progress in this life anymore.
Yeah.
As an 8-year-old.
Stock.
I want to hear 8-year-old Jerica say that, actually.
Yeah, me too. Stock on the song Let's Get Physical down in the dumps today because we're not getting physical any longer. And rounding out our quartet, Jordan, a.k.a. Cognitive Clips. Jordan, how are you?
Doing all right. I mean, just, what a year yesterday has been,
Yeah, oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
As I mentioned at the top, we're going to start this conversation with the bad and go from there to the good. Because what better way to just get the bad news out of the way, from my perspective. So yeah, if you're listening to this, you almost certainly have heard various versions of this news. But in 2028, supposedly, not supposedly, they said it. PlayStation is stopping the development and manufacturing of all physical discs for their video games. This is paired with last week's news that Grand Theft Auto 6 not shipping physically at all. And then also right after that news, Xbox, like a report that the next Xbox, codename Project Helix, won't have a disc drive. So it seems like we're kind of finally getting to that point that, we've been kind of theorizing now for as long as I've been talking about games on the internet, but even before then, that at some point we will be going to this digital only future. So a knee-jerk reaction out the jump. Jerica, what are you thinking about no physical moving forward?
I don't know really where to start because there's a lot to unpack, but knee-jerk reaction, it sucks. I think we could all agree. We've all had the same sentiment. I've been on socials and reading everyone's responses, but we knew it was coming though. We knew it was coming. We just didn't know it would happen. So I just feel like we have a lot happening at once again. So that amplifies how we're feeling.
Yeah.
I maybe see a situation where they back off of it a little bit. I don't know. I just don't have the numbers to speak to truly how will this impact them.
Sure.
But I don't trust PlayStation at all anyways, because I'm like, what are the decisions they made in the past? Why does it justify this? I still don't know what they're doing. Just from, my understanding and reading everyone else's responses online, it does seem that, a good bit of households still want to have a disc in the home, be able to buy a disc and put it in. Yes.
Hashtag put it in.
So I don't know. I don't know if this is the future for real. I think, it's going to be up to some folks to sort of, shove it truly to the man to make sure it doesn't happen.
Jordan, initial thoughts.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask to go because I do have some numbers. I'll keep it brief. Don't worry. Don't be alarmed.
Data Daddy, give us the numbers.
Let's go.
Data Daddy.
Exclamation point kids in the chat.
Exclamation point data in the chat.
Yeah, there we go.
Because, being the research nerd that I am, I did look into some numbers and stuff because obviously my initial reaction was this is not good. Even as a 90-95% digital gamer, I still want the option to be there for when situations arise or secondhand market, all kinds of reasons. But Matt Piss, sorry,
Matt Piss,
Yes.
Mr. Piss.
We know.
I wish I could say that was intentional and I was trying to be funny. I just really forgot how to speak for a second. I
There
apologize.
goes our chance to get Matt Piscatella on the podcast. That we call him Matt Piss.
God.
But he obviously is the video game analyst, data numbers guy for Circana. and like just literally last week was talking about how everything's going digital, like toward that direction, and mentioned that I think it's like over half of the Xbox Series consoles are digital only, but it's about, I think he phrased it as more than a quarter of PS5. So I would assume that means somewhere between 25 and 33%, because otherwise he would have said a third. 93 million PS5s are out there right now.
Yeah.
And if we just kind of find somewhere in the middle and say, let's just say 30% are digital only, that means 65 million people in the past 6 years have wanted the option to have discs. I know that they said from their own announcement that it's 15%-ish that are only physical sales as opposed to digital, like for the actual software. But 65 million people intentionally, willingly paid more money to Sony to have the option to have the discs. And then they just turned around and said, we don't want your money.
And even if we're being conservative about the idea that all of them wanted a disc and say, let's just cut off 20 million of that and say only 45 million people said specifically, I want the disc, as opposed to I just want the PS5 that I can
it's the only
buy.
one in
That's still
stock.
45 million people. Like that.
Yeah.
That's, and also something else that you just said that made me think, Jordan, is that
Dangerous.
15% is physical sales, but like there's no way they can account for like used game sales and things like that. So like that's only from the Targets and the Walmarts. Well, they don't want to, sure, but like that 15%, I think also is not even close to accurate, probably.
Yeah. And just to, since you brought it up, you brought this on yourself, Patrick.
I did.
I looked at the software sales for fiscal year 2025. So that was April of 25 through March of 26. It's like 317.9 million. So like obviously 15% of that is, from a business standpoint, not great, but that is still over 45 million physical copies were bought last year. Like that's and they hit record profits, by the way.
Yeah,
Fiscal year 25.
Of course.
Record profits.
The thing is, and there's like a lot of asterisks here, obviously, but like it's not like we're just chopping those out of the equation. Many of those, when the option is not there, will translate into sales digital. You know what I mean? It's not like we're just saying goodbye to 315 million copies of the game sold or anything like that. And then eliminating the used market, I think, well, essentially, eventually eliminating the used market will then push those sales up too, when the only way to get your games is digitally brand new. So like business has made business decision. Color me surprised to not steal the thunder. Wait for you guys to like ditch to me on like what my impulse, like gut reaction is here. But the thing that's really interesting to me is that we talked so much about this concept on like a smaller scale with GTA over the last 2 weeks. My question to you all is, how do those two announcements correlate, and who came out like on top? So GTA announces no disc version of their game, right? That's coming out in 2026.
Yeah.
And then PlayStation sees that news, and do they say, oh, fuck, let's push that story out right now, and then it'll all just get like buried with? What do you think?
If I may, very quickly, Jerica, as
go
someone
ahead.
who works in marketing, like my day job is marketer, that the messaging for this has gone through legal, this is not a quickly pulled trigger. Guaranteed. I would bet every ounce.
This has been planned.
This
I
has
agree,
been planned
Patrick.
for so long.
Okay.
Like the only thing maybe that could have potentially happened is if they were waiting for something to then pull the lever to say, okay, let's tell everybody.
Sure.
Unlikely still, because like Sony is such a big corporation. This has probably been like when they talked in Q1 about their marketing go-to-market motions. This is one they talked about then. Like this has been in the works for quite some time. But Jerica, what were you gonna say?
And it's been so common too, for just to go, you sort of remind me of a point, like two things. I think the way that Sony just relays information to its customers now is like blog posts, matter of fact, like there's no like, what's the, giving it to us softly? You know what I'm trying to say? Like sugarcoating it. It's just here's the facts and y'all just deal with it basically. But also too, like what I was going to bring up before, because I remember, unless this was just like a fake image, it could have been, but like, wasn't there an image of like GTA pre-order best place to play on PlayStation, and it had a disc drive, and then they like removed it?
That was really
Yeah.
So like someone fucked up that. So like there's been plans, and like I feel like the last GTA 2 there was a partnership with Sony also. Like I'm sure this has been years, to Patrick's point. Just like, let's do it with this game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And
friend
of the show,
you think
Mondo
GTA? Go ahead.
friend of the show Mondo made a good point too, that like I'm sure it was not an accident also that they do this right before a big holiday weekend where people are going to be too busy to really rave about it past tonight because they have family coming in, or they're traveling themselves, or they're
Marketing 101
Yeah.
for bad news. Yeah.
Yep. Jake.
For sure. Well, I was just gonna say, so I think Rockstar kind of comes out on top here. Like they took the brunt of the storm at the beginning, but now nobody is talking about GTA's like digital exclusivity at this point, even though they're jumping
For
the gun by a
sure.
year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, if you're comparing the two, GTA being digital is so less impactful because it's one game, right? Like,
Right.
it's not every game moving forward that PlayStation develops and manufactures
And why
themselves.
Sony
Yeah,
was
it's such a
waiting for this
broad
moment.
stroke.
Yeah.
Because, like, honestly, though, here we are. We're bitching and moaning about let's go back to the GTA point with not being physical. Everyone and their fucking mom's still going to buy it digitally. So we're also a part of the problem, unless we just all say, okay, I'm not going to buy it. Like,
Sure.
just to be really transparent, like, did y'all have, I mean, I'm going to play GTA. Yes, I'm going to download it digitally. Do I want to? Am I a part of the problem? Because I haven't bought physical games in a really long time. That's another topic for later in this
Sure,
episode. But anywho.
Well, no, I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, I
we can
couldn't
rip-
tell you the last time I bought a game physically, at least for PlayStation. Every so often, and like I'm talking. Well, I mean, no, even the last like physical game I bought for the Switch was like Super Mario Party All Stars or whatever, which is like 6 years ago or something like that. I'm not a physical gamer. And I've liked the convenience of buying digitally. That's why I do it. But now I'm a lot more concerned as someone who has only ever bought digitally, because in my mind, years ago when I was like, you know what, I'm going to install another terabyte of data into my PS4 so that I can store more games for the convenience of not having to delete and download, et cetera, et cetera. When I was doing that and buying 99% of my games digitally, I never once considered that physical media would actually go away. Like I felt like, sure, it'll trend where more people are buying digitally than physically, but it's an institution that has been around since the beginning of media in this case.
Right.
Of like, there's always been physical media, which, egg on my face, because now the real issue, which is a whole big can of worms that we could open up for this podcast, whether we want to dive into it right now or not, is that the real issue about digital ownership is it's not ownership. You are renting the game as long as the digital storefront wants you to allow you to use it. At any point, they can take that away from you. It's in the fucking terms and conditions of when you buy it. You're buying a license to access the game for the time in which they deem you to be able to do so. And
Which
so that's,
Sony also
I think,
yanked for
Right.
like 550 movies that were distributed by so and so on their service this week.
Dude, for that being a planned marketing ploy to announce this, they sure didn't think through also announcing the fucking PlayStation 3 and Vita stores getting closed on the same time. Like,
Or
hey, by
did
the way,
they?
it's digital only. And then a perfect example of why this is going to suck in the future, just attached to the same message, is crazy. Like, clearly, like, we don't give a fuck, buddy.
yeah.
I mean, I think it was maybe possibly Andy Cortez who said it. I can't remember. It was somebody on Games Daily was like, they quoted that the Andor quote about it's easier to hide behind 17 atrocities than it is to hide behind one. So like, just throw all the bad news at us at one time within a couple days span, let it fizzle out over the holiday weekend, and then come back swinging with Wolverine coming September 15th
Sure.
or whenever that is. Like on a disc.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that. I'm very interested to see where we go from there, because I mean, there have been times in the past within gaming alone where we can't access games that were released digitally anymore for totally other reasons. So it's like, there's already been precedents for games being taken away, putting aside the movies story that we
Right.
just brought up. Like, it's happened before.
I was actually talking before this podcast, I said there's no reason for me to show this, but now there is. I'm sitting here with a PlayStation 4 copy of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and we talk about like setting the precedent. I had to buy this on PlayStation 4 because it's one of, truthfully, not that many games. I think it's like 22 games total that have been delisted digitally from the PlayStation Store, are no longer able to be purchased. And like I think this has to do with like rights to Spider-Man, because obviously the game that I held up for audio listeners is The Amazing Spider-Man 2, based off of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie of the same name. And I think obviously not to renew those and then have Marvel's Spider-Man be just such a flagship first-party Sony title, it makes sense to ditch this so that this bad Spider-Man game isn't tarnishing it. But there's other games like that too, like the Deadpool game is not easily obtainable, and the physical copy is worth a ton. So
Marvel's Capcom.
I do.
What's wrong with the Marvel properties? Like,
because the people like
sold
Sony
to
don't
Disney.
own the rights. It's like when these licensing agreements happen to put a game out, the contract says like you have these rights for X number of years, and you can distribute whatever in those years. But once that time is up, they would have to pay again to be able to say, okay, we want to sell this game. And so that's why it's happened for so many, like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. That's gone. Like there's so many games like that.
That's what I was thinking of actually. Yeah. That's probably both.
It's even like you're seeing it more and more too. Like obviously Netflix, like a lot of great shows. Like I was reading a story about a creator that wrote this incredible animated series, and now literally it cannot live anywhere because of licensing. And now you just can't watch it anywhere. It's like it doesn't exist. It's just gone. Poof.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it sucks. I wish that wasn't a part of the creative, or like I guess the way to. If you're broke and you want to make something cool, you sort of have to sell your creative juices to everybody. And then does it find a home?
Jake?
I think thinking about Marvel and then correlating it to Disney. You guys remember the Disney Vault concept back in the day?
Yeah.
Which I know is for physical media, but I wonder, do you think we're going to get to a fucking point where you don't have the ability to buy something digitally? They like just pull it off to then re-offer it later. Like I think about the digital only exclusivity of the Mario 3D All-Stars collection. Remember how they put that out 5 or 6 years ago, and there was a physical and a digital, and they just pulled that fucker off the market. Do you think there's ever a world where we have like the Nintendo Vault and they're like, and for this holiday season, you can re-buy the 3D All-Stars collection?
For something like Nintendo and like for first party games that aren't tied up in any sort of licensing, I think that I won't be surprised if it ever comes to that. I don't think that would happen for like Spider-Man by Insomniac type games, but absolutely.
I see
like
Nintendo doing it. Yeah. I feel like to Travman Man's point, like I feel like that's already happening a little bit to some extent. Like just if you would have told me that's never happened before, I would have been really surprised.
Sure. I do want to bring in some chatters. Also, welcome to the D-Guns Raiders. Thank you so much, D-Guns, for the raid. We were hot in conversation. We couldn't break to say, but thank you so much for being here. Davey James said, but this is going back to the part of the conversation about the disk drives and like Cog, when you brought up that data about how many gamers have purchased a disk drive. He says, to be fair, many people like me may have bought the PS5 with a disk drive just to keep their physical movie media collection in use and still buy mostly digital games, which based on the data, right? Like what you were saying, Cog, about how there were, what was the number? It was like 15 or 85% of games.
Yeah, 85% were digital, but like only, a quarter to a third ish are digital only consoles. So there's a big discrepancy there. I have other thoughts, but you continue your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I feel like that there when you break it into big numbers, like you were saying, about 65 million, give or take 5 million people are the ones that have the disk drive PS5s. I mean, like I was saying earlier, even if you chop that in half, like that's still 30 something million people. But I do feel like that what Davey is describing is like kind of my exact realm that I'm in, and that a lot of people are in. But I think one thing that none of us have explicitly said, but I think we all feel, which maybe this is what you're about to say, Jordan, is at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I do with the games that if I'm digital only, I only want it for movies, etc. It's the option. It's that it's taking away the option from people. And like D-Guns, who's on our Discord, you can join our Discord, dropitdropitpod.com, !Discord in the chat. So many people rely exclusively on a used game market to be able to play this very expensive art form that we love that just
getting
gets
more
more
expensive.
expensive every fucking day. And so to take that away, because yeah, there's sales on digital storefronts, but like Nintendo's the fucking worst of them all when it comes to their own games. They do sales every day on the storefront for other games, but like it just, this will price a lot of people out. Like I'll kick to you in a second, Jordan. Coal Mines in the chat a little bit ago said, where I'm at is that if the PS6 is expensive as hell and digital only, I'm just going to save up for a PC at this point, which I think a lot of people are going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of coal mines, I mean, like in the Discord, when you're in a Discord, then we like to give a little prompt, and so we can discuss, get your all's opinions on the topic for the week and all that. And he brought up the great point about things like holidays, gift giving opportunities, where as a kid, all four of us would excitedly open up these video games that we asked for, and it's like you're holding it up for the camera, or your dad's camcorder that he made you wait 15 minutes so he could set up on the tripod before you open your presents, all that stuff. And like I've gotten to experience that now, exclamation point kids, not only for myself growing up, but also like to gift to my children. Like, oh, here, like I think you all love Bluey. Here's a Bluey game for Christmas. That you can play on the Switch together, and we can all play together as a family, and blah 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 blah. Like, I've been able to experience that from both directions, and it really is something special. And that, like, as you were saying, Patrick, you really did read my mind. That was the point I was going to make, is that the option is what's super important to me. And it's like, I bought the digital only PS5 when I had a PS5. I bought the Xbox One S that was all digital in 2019, which I then upgraded to the Series S in 2021 whenever I got that one. And so like I've been mostly digital or digital only depending on the console for like a long time, but like the fact that I was able to make that choice consciously and make that purchase when there was a different option is one thing. And then of course, even for a console like the Switch, where there is no digital only option, you always have the option of physical. I can still do that every once in a while when I want to for my like collector's editions or whatever else. And so, yeah, the biggest thing is not only for the games themselves, but it's almost like, we've probably all had those moments where somebody, whether it's a boss or a partner or somebody, asks you a question and you think you have an option of what the response is going to be, but it turns out there's a right answer and a wrong answer. And what they've done is give us these two different answers of, hey, do you want a physical media option or do you want a digital only console? And hey, you know what? If it's digital only, we're going to shave $100 USD off the price. It's an expensive hobby, Patrick.
Yeah.
It's an expensive hobby. I'm saving $100 by getting this console. But it turns out that was actually the wrong choice. And now, fuck you, no more discs.
Sure. Yeah. So. No, I agree. Jake, do you think there's a world in which, we're being loud about it, a lot of people are being loud about it, people all over social media are being loud about it. Do you think there's a world in which Sony pulls back on this?
I mean, the last time somebody took a swing like this was Xbox, and we haven't talked about it yet, but it's been filtering, flying around the internet, flying around all the sorts of social media posts again. But that original Sony PlayStation like promotional video, how to share games on the PlayStation 4, hand it over to your friend, and the friend says thank you, and that's it. It's a 13-second fucking video, and that whole thing did cause Microsoft to backtrack. Now, granted, that was 15 years ago at this point. The problem is that it is the right thing to do to make more money in the long run. Like, we are being the vocal minority right now, once again. Like, this whole thing is a lot of us yapping, and everyone knows that we're upset, but everyone's going to be over it, and we're going to be talking about Xbox layoffs next week. Like, that's how this whole thing works. And I don't think that at this point Sony backs out. I do think that there's a unique opportunity. I'm not sure if they can make it. There's been so many very fast actions from Xbox, and this is their chance to fucking stab them back and be like, I can picture Asha. Xbox is committed to physical media, and we listen to our Xbox fans, and we're committed to bringing the next Xbox to you with an optional disc drive, and physical media will be available throughout 2033 or whatever the fucking line is, where I think it would be interesting if they went that route. It would be a stretch, but where at the same time we have reports coming out literally yesterday about how decisions that 6 months ago would have taken months to push through are being made in days over at Xbox right now. Like they are making drastic changes quickly to try to turn things around. This would be a great way to win the mind share of the hardcore gamer right now.
Jericho, do you think Xbox could do that?
Yeah, but no one's going to do that. I think both parties are in. It's not just it's everywhere, y'all. Like it's any kind of piece of technology right now. I talked about how quickly it was, how quickly I could sell my RAM. That's just a small example, but like we're in a really not great place with how I know the corporate overlords are making these decisions. Obviously, it feels really shitty. But I think a lot of companies are just like terrified of where things are headed and literally trying to future-proof themselves to cut out any middleman, like a retailer for PlayStation. How can they say that their store, they're taking 100% profit? I don't know how that math works, but without having some other place, which I've always been for, have your games everywhere. That says a developer. I think that's the best thing. But now you're limiting developers and where they can have games. That creates a whole other issue. But back to my main point, like trying to cut out and have, those margins be a little bit better.
Yeah.
I know it's not the answer people want to hear, but I think both Xbox, PlayStation are in the same boat, but not really, but both panicking. And I think just evident of to Jake's point, all the changes we've seen so quickly happen.
Yeah.
We haven't seen as much from PlayStation because they didn't, I take that back. We sort of have seen it with like all the live service games that have been canceled.
Yeah.
We've just seen it, over the course of like a few years versus Xbox is just imploding all at once. It's pretty crazy.
So Sony's bad news can never last a week before Xbox steps on a rake that has a shotgun at the end of it. It's ridiculous.
It's just like everyone's being sort of forced in the corner to like, hey, how do you prepare for the future? The hardware's not going to save us. It's going to be a storefront, a place that you can sell things digitally. And that's the future. Like I don't see I don't see the Xbox doing that, to answer your question. No. I think they stay where they're at.
I think that storefront is another big problem too, because people, I see the term walled garden get thrown around a lot, where it's like, Sony has already backed out of even putting their games on PC, and now they're, in 2028 committing to being the only place to even buy the games is the PlayStation Store. And I mean, we're just now, last month, seeing a major company actually give any sort of discount for a digital purchase versus a physical one, with Nintendo starting with Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Like if you get a digital copy of their first party games, at least it's $10 cheaper to offset, you're not having to pay for the cart and the box and blah, 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 blah. But again, if there was no option for a physical, then what motivation does Sony have to give any sort of discount? They're just going to save themselves money and then get all the more money that we're giving them without giving us. It's not going to trickle down. This isn't Reaganomics,
which is a great
which famously
policy,
works very well.
I'm very interested to see, smash cut to a future where maybe we have better politicians in Washington. I am very interested if something like PlayStation games only being able to be sold on one marketplace, which is the Sony store, if that touches any sort of monopoly type legislation.
Yeah.
I think I saw something that someone's trying to get that together because of yesterday. But
to bring in a point or a question by Kayla asks, it makes me wonder too, what's the incentive to sell at retailers? Like, does Sony still do a physical box with a code at Target? I know this happens in some cases already, but I would be willing to bet, even though a lot of those kinds of storefronts have either taken away those kinds of sections or made them a lot smaller, I bet that is a way to get around a loophole of, well, we're still selling them at Walmart's, and it's a box that has a piece of paper with a code on it, but it's in more places than just one storefront, so we don't have full control over the cost of the video game. So I don't know. I wonder if those things are being considered or not.
I'm sure, because we've done it before. There's been collector's editions with just the box and a code in it that people are buying. So like,
or just a box.
Or I can't think of a time.
I have one of those.
I can't think of a time that the United States government has done anything or ruled anything as like a benefit to gamers. I don't think that's like, I feel like it all just kind of goes through. Like people thought the Activision Blizzard, Xbox merger wouldn't happen in that one.
Sure.
Obviously.
No, you're
I
right,
want
you're
a
right.
politician that puts gamers first. Who's it gonna be, Jake?
If it's gonna be anyone's gonna be Zoran.
Me.
He's
Let's
got it.
go, Jake.
So true. Also, I want to bring in, let's see, D-Guns was saying, as someone who's never owned an Xbox, never wanted to, who loves Nintendo and PlayStation consoles, I would totally buy an Xbox if it had discs and PS6 didn't, which is an insane thing to say, which I do wonder, like going back to that question of do we think Xbox might do this? The realist in me says no, especially because of the rumors that Project Helix is going to ship without a disk drive. But I do feel like that is such a winnable moment for Xbox to read the room and say, well, Sony fucked up. We're going to pick that up because they did that to us a couple generations ago. And look how badly it fucked them when that was the generation where everybody started going digitally. So I don't know. Something to consider. But I do think something you said, Jerica, that got my mind spinning about the profit of it all. Like at the end of the day, I think that's another reason why they probably won't go back on it, is that they are just trying to make profit, because the way a corporation works in this kind of thinking, going back to like multiple quarters ago thing, they've set out their growth goals and what they're expecting to do in the market. And what they weren't expecting at some point is that everything is going to be so much more expensive, like ungodly more expensive. And so those costs that they are taking on from a corporate's perspective, they have to find that elsewhere. And so it's, cutting this, I think, just helps move from column A to column B of now, instead of not making $10 billion, we're not making $8 billion, which is $2 billion better than what we were going to lose on. Right. So it's a bunch of bullshit.
I honestly, I'm not well informed enough to know, despite all my Robinhood ads I get on YouTube, I'm not well informed enough to know how much Sony as a corporation above SIE, I'm not sure how much they've really been investing in and pushing for AI stuff. But of course, Microsoft has been one of the biggest proponents. So it's always just a slap in the face to see, Asha being the former, what was her role? Like she was like the head of an AI division, was she not?
Queen of AI.
Yeah. Queen of AI. To have the queen of AI, former, now step down, be the one to be like, sorry guys, there's all these crazy prices now. I have no choice but to increase your Series X by $200. It's like, you're the problem. You did this. Like,
yeah, for sure.
The calls are coming from the inside the house, man.
What else on this front? What are we missing?
I think anything.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Game key cards looking really good right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's the news. Let us know what you think. Drop us a comment. Or actually, no, Jordan, were there Discords for this?
There were Discords. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Yeah. A couple of them have already been brought up. I mentioned Coal Mines talking about, holidays / gift giving opportunities. He also mentioned secondhand markets, which may have been in the chat earlier, as well as just, of course, collectors, like some of us are, which we'll get to later. Davey, of course, was in the chat earlier talking about feeling as if he contributed to the problem, as we all have, with maybe having physical editions but still not actually buying physical media, using it to play Blu-rays or 4K Blu-rays, whatever, and not actually buying physical games for it. Sirius is kind of in the same boat that I am, where it's like, I've been mostly digital for a long time, but so far hasn't really burned me. And that's where I've been standing too, is that the way that my gaming habits have been, like, I'm not personally, for my own collections, I'm not worried about like, oh, golly gee shucky darn, in 15 years I can't play the same game I'm playing on 4th of July weekend 2026. Like, that's not a worry that I have for myself, but again, I want the option to be there for myself and for everybody else.
Golly gee shucky darn.
Yeah.
You heard me. And I'm not gonna take it back either. I stand firmly.
Let's get that as an emo ASAP.
Cancel me if you want to, but I will not apologize.
Shucky darn.
And cool for you all to brought up in the Discord that, like, kind of what we were just talking about with so many of these companies pushing for AI, and this is probably a response to the profits that they're not getting anymore because of the component increases that they've helped drive. And so just how much that sucks as far as it's, we're the ones getting screwed over by their bad decisions. So
Everyone's getting screwed by that decision. everywhere.
We're getting shucky darned in the beehole.
We're getting
You know what I'm
shucked
saying?
for sure, dude.
It's so crazy how like we've like barely talked about AI this week, and I feel like that is just such a perpetual concept that's being talked about in the gaming space because
For sure.
the news, even for us, is so sensationalized with whatever the hot topic is. It's insane. Every time something goes bad, they should just send out like a high-ranking Microsoft executive to kill a man, and then that'll be like, the news of the weekend, and everyone will like forget.
There you
about
go.
that shit.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I mean, you know, the fight for AI has been lost unless AI like dies. But this conversation certainly has made it interesting to be like, oh yeah, there isn't space to have so many conversations, which brings us back to the point at the beginning of like PlayStation knew what they were doing when they announced that this conversation will not last. It's the files all over again. But, well, let's pivot to a happier conversation because they are trying to take these games out of our cold, dead hands of the future. Let's have a little appreciation for some physical media. We want to talk about a few different angles to it, but like shouting out old like box art we love, manuals we love, memories we have of getting physical media, whether it's collector's editions or just regular editions. So yeah, Jordan, I for some reason am drawn to kick to you first.
You're drawn to me, Patrick.
I'm drawn to you.
Yes.
What's a physical thing you want to talk about? Let's get physical.
Let's get physical. Let's see. I'm gonna be very Jordan about this.
How
They're
embarrassing.
fine. It's fine. I'm gonna take a couple here.
Okay.
First, I want to shout out because this was like back in the day. So obviously, being me, I did have original copies of like the Metro Prime trilogy like individually, but then they came out with the trilogy disc on the Wii. It was available digitally on the Wii U, and then now that store shut down. Hashtag topical. But the physical release was so sick. I had the actual collector's edition that was almost like I guess it was basically like an early steelbook, like very like reflective, shiny of like Samus's, you know, the end of the arm cannon kind of thing, as like it's like this, but just imagine this being metal and shiny. Okay. So eventually, whenever I was getting offloading some Wii U stuff, that was probably after the flooding that made me stop liking collecting physical things because I realized how easily they were ruined, and I don't want to relive trauma all the time. So I got rid of a lot of stuff. But recently rebought the version of the trilogy, and it actually did come with not only the original, you know, manual. Remember those, chat? Remember manuals? But there's like a little mini, like very artistic, like story recap of the first, or actually of all the trilogy games that like came with it. It's like this like little fold out. It's like a synopsis and it's art.
Try
and
showing that again. We didn't get to see it very much.
Yeah, sorry. So this is like the art side, and then the other side of it is more art, but also like in the fine print, it's like a story recap of all three of the games basically.
Higher.
Sorry, I'm really bad at this. I can't like see what I'm doing when I'm doing this.
Perfect.
So,
That's the exact perfect spot. Yeah.
Computer enhance.
Computer.
Yes. So that one is awesome. I was so glad I was able to reacquire that. Because, fun fact, the original GameCube version of Metro Prime 2 is a bitch. It is insanely hard for no reason. But the trilogy version had like they changed normal mode to be easier, and then like the hard mode was the default from the original release. Sticking with that, got the collector's version of Metroid Dread. So I had the steelbook that came with that. Has these like sweet little art cards. I'm gonna actually see my camera now. Art cards that like for all of the 2D saga.
Yeah.
So that was very cool. Also came with the actual like I don't know, couple 100-page like art book for the Lart book, Jake Lart book for the 2D saga and other M for some reason. Sure, we'll allow it. So yeah, that came out, of course, as you may recall, that came out the same day as the Switch OLED edition.
A lot of people recall that for sure.
Yeah. That's top of mind all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like Steelbooks is like reminding me of like some pretty iconic steelbooks that I have, particularly like the Halo 2 limited edition steelbook.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
It was only $10 more than the regular game on launch, a game that a lot of people bought on launch anyway and were hot on. That is a
so worth
slick
it.
looking. Yeah, that is
Totally
a
really is.
incredible
About that.
package.
Yeah.
Put some
That
oil on it.
is an incredible package.
And, before I yield my time, I got one more last one here. Sea of Stars, of course. I'm just going to keep it very on brand for Jordan. We're talking Metroid. We're talking Sea of Stars. So it came with the this is like a slipcover that you put the game in. Of course, it has like a different key art than the one you find in stores usually. Also reversible. Also came with a manual. Yeah, came with the physical disc or the
I don't think I've ever seen a fucking manual in a Switch cart in a Switch case like that. Can you show me that? It's like a little square on top of where. What the fuck was that?
Little baby
They
square.
are rare. They're rare, but they are so cool. And of course, it has like the lovely art from Bryce
Little
Coe.
zine.
Yeah. So it has the got a little table of contents. You
Look
get
at
to learn
this
about the characters.
dainty
a
little
bit,
manual, dude.
Yeah, man, it's awesome.
Wow.
And then the physical version also did come with this art right here that's been on my wall interchangeably since I've been on Dido. But
Wait,
that's
why
like,
is the manual up there? Why isn't it just slotted into the other side of the thing in like full size?
Because then it wouldn't be small, Jake.
it wouldn't be as cute? But yeah, that's like
Consider that.
you make a good point.
Thank you.
that's original
Apologize.
pixel art.
I do
It's like
apologize.
it's like all the characters from the game, enemies and heroes. What's that,
Yeah.
Jacob?
Little side note, like I fucking hate when they send little posters all folded the fuck up and it looks like bullshit. You might have gotten it look good, but why is someone sending me a folded up poster? That makes me mad. I got it still, and I'm just like, well,
What do you
what's
want me
the
to like
point in
put an
that?
iron to it and then it just melts
Right.
because it's paper?
There is a process. Like I've had like some posters like fixed before, but they like I don't know the scientific method to doing it, but
Yeah.
it can be fixed if you take it to your local craft store if that still exists in your area.
The
Mike
lighting I
just-
have going on just barely conceals it because it is like
Joanne's.
you can see all the lines in that frame if you actually
Which
look at
makes
it.
me. What's the point? I mean, that's
Yeah, I
cool,
know.
but I'm sorry.
mean,
this is
yeah.
not pet peeves.
No, you're good.
No, you're good. No, I remember like thinking about maps in games of like, and though I love maps, but like the Grand Theft Auto maps, the Elder Scrolls
Skyrim.
maps.
Yes.
Every Rockstar game
Yes.
has the map, and the map is sick, underrated.
Yeah.
And, like-
I wish we would be getting it, but we're not. They're not going to do that. It'll be an app instead.
I want them to
I'm the
mail me a
app,
map
I'm the app.
that's not all folded up. I wanted it in one of those little, you know,
Holy
Tubes.
things. Oh yeah.
yeah.
A tube.
Yep, send it
That's
in
the
a
word.
tube. Thank you.
Yeah. Patrick, the Dagden edition of Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave comes with a map. Just saying.
Fucking what edition?
Dagden, that's the
Ding
name of
Dong
the
edition,
empire.
I think, is what.
Dagden?
It's the Dagden Empire is like the setting of the game. And so-
Empire.
Dadgummit.
Right.
That's all I
is
heard.
Endless Ragnarok, Jake. Endless Ragnarok.
Fucking dude, these proper nouns in video games. The fucking scars of Cosmora. Like, fuck. I can't stop.
Yeah.
That's like the least offensive of them, in my opinion. But
I'm
Oh,
playing.
it's so offensive.
I'm playing Xenoblade right now. The proper nouns in that franchise are so fucking dumb. But it's a great game. I'm so lucky. Jerica,
Oh, is it
do you
my
have
turn?
something
Yes,
for us?
I do. I'm doing this for Cog. So
What was that?
it's over here. Hold on.
I don't know. What was that?
This might
I'm
take
scared.
a second. I apologize.
That's okay.
Wait, I had to pivot. I know I have this, unopened
God.
collector's edition of Animal Well.
Whoa!
Audrey
a live
actually bought it.
unboxing.
I'm sure she's fine with it. She can't hear me. We're gonna do it anyways. So this isn't actually what I was gonna show. It's not the game. I don't give a fuck about this game. It was
Yeah,
cool.
it's pretty mid.
While she
I'm,
does
like,
that,
ripping it.
here's my version.
Nice.
But what I wanted to talk about, not a lot of people understand the scientific ways that things smell. I'm just gonna start off with something.
Any smellers?
Any smellers in chat? I know I'm a big smeller. Smelled my way to a vending machine once in a hospital. I got a good sniffer. Fuck, I can't open
Smelled your
this.
way to Audrey's heart.
I do have a good sniffer. It's my most attuned sense. Is my sense of smell.
This is just as hard as the game, so I'm not gonna try to open it anymore.
While you do
I don't want
that,
to fuck it, but I have my backup plan ready. This was my
good.
original project.
welcome in,
But-
silly duck raiders.
Silly duck.
Hello,
Raiders.
silly ducks. Great, this is perfect. Everyone's here.
Everyone's here.
What's quacking, y'all?
Let me explain some science.
Leave the podcast forever.
Leave
You know-
now and never come back.
Okay, sorry, Jericho.
Just trying to take the stage
know.
once
know.
in my life.
I know.
No one fucking cares. All the fucking molecules in your games that are physical
Yeah.
sit in this fucking little tiny package for years, sometimes months, maybe not that long. I don't know. They're sitting on the shelf. And god damn it, my favorite thing, I'm trying to eat my hair. My favorite thing about physical games, and it always takes me back, is when those little molecules are
Escape
exposed.
for the first time.
Let me get in that crack.
Oh yeah. What that smell like?
Oh,
I hope everyone can relate to the
I can.
smell of a new video game, because that is
yeah.
my
Oh,
share.
yeah.
That is what I've brought to the table, y'all. The smell of just plastic, ink, paper. Oh, Sea of Stars has a good smell to it.
Yeah.
So, have you smelled your book, Cog?
It smells like peak. I have not actually.
It smells
I?
like pee.
Hang on.
Peak.
Sometimes I've had a few games that do smell like urine.
You're in
God,
I
I
had
like-
some cigarette smelling used games.
Yeah.
But I just like
They were mine.
this is the most nostalgic thing for me. Is just smelling. I like underneath the disc.
I wonder. I have this old copy of a game. I wonder what that smells like.
Has it been opened? Or is
Oh, it has. It's the PlayStation
cracking-
2 Lord of the Rings.
I only have one game. I'm gonna smell this. It came from eBay like 3 days ago.
I mean,
good,
I
folks.
just cracked open a fresh one. I only have a few left. Y'all better
Mine kind
hold
of
on
smells
to
like
anything.
chlorine, like the inside of a pool. I actually rather like the smell. I just
Mine just smells like kind of like butt.
Well, that's the problem.
not
You're
good.
not opening a fresh game like I just did. I just opened that on live
Oh, I
here.
know. I know.
And then I opened Animal Well.
a little
But
lightheaded.
the box is so fucking hard to open. Can't even get inside of the game. I could care less.
Like you said, it's just like the game.
It's just like the game. But
I
I haven't
haven't
smelled that
really-
in so long.
I yearn for the smell now, which I probably will never get again. But I'm going to really miss the manual.
I like smelling
Right.
that too.
Can I move us into a manual conversation? Can I reveal my manual lore?
Some might say you can
Yes.
grab the stick shift and put us in manual.
Oh,
Oh,
Is that a funny joke? I don't
good.
know. Grab my
Yeah.
stick.
Who up? Grab my stick shift. Gamers.
yeah. I mean,
Yes,
you
very
don't
good.
put it in manual; it just is. But
I don't know. Audrey tried to teach me to drive a
worked.
stick once. Didn't
ultimately,
work out.
it worked, and I'm nitpicking.
Okay.
We got there.
Okay.
I
liked it, Jericho.
I wouldn't even call it like a failed show, but if you search Jake Twitchin manual override, I made a pilot episode. Let's just say it didn't get picked up for the season internally by me, mostly because it took so long to make. But I had this idea. I have like a light obsession with video game manuals, like especially the old ones. Not like these days, like they printed a brand new one. I think that's cool and everything. But when manuals were a standard and they became, I don't know, like a part of the ritual of unboxing a game, I was always very smitten with that experience. So I tried to make a like web series called Manual Override, where I would just kind of like rip through the manuals of some cool old video games. And it was so awesome. I only did one episode of F-Zero was the game for Super Nintendo, is the one that I picked. And it's one of the best manuals ever. It's got like a comic book inside of it. All of the lore for the game is inside of the actual manual itself. Just very cool. I urge you, if you don't watch the video, go check out the manual. I'm sure you can find a PDF for it, or better yet, buy the game. Because F-Zero absolutely rules. But one of the things that I'm going to miss the most is that ritual. I know that I am kind of an asshole because I haven't been doing this for a long time. But when you were a kid and you had that opportunity where you finally got like a brand new game at the store and you're on the ride home with your parents in the front and you rip that fucker open and you're
It's
looking
part
at
of
the
the
disc.
smell. That was the next
get the
step.
smell. Yep, you could look at the disc. You pull out the manual. You turn the light on. They yell at you to turn the fucking light off. But you like, gotta read.
Crash the car.
I can't see with the light on. Like, okay, you can see. Let me put the fucking light on. I'm reading my goddamn manual right now. That is like
Shut up,
such a ritualistic experience, man. sorely missed, and it's already been lacking for a long time. You know, we've been it doesn't quite perfectly relate right now because the art of the included manual with a box has been pretty much gone for a long time. You know, we get an insert if we're lucky that has a page or two on it, or like an advertisement for a different game. But a nice thick manual goes absolutely crazy. Some of my favorites off the top of my head, I absolutely adore both Katamari Damacy and particularly We Love Katamari's manual.
Okay.
Oh my god, so sick. Every single page is like bespoke art where it's like flowing around and everything. And just the actual manual cover art itself for We Love Katamari is like this hyper realistic. It's not what you're expecting to see. I promise if you were to bring that up. Worth a look. One of my all-time favorites though, and this is like a universal one that I don't feel like is talked about enough. I love the manual for Pokemon Red and Blue.
Ooh,
it is so sick because it's not just a manual. They actually called it the like Pokemon field guide. It didn't have any characters on it. It looked like a journal, like a spiral journal, if I recall correctly, and like it had like the correct font in the whole 9 yards. Like it seemed like something you were supposed to carry with you while you were playing Pokemon on your Game Boy. It's so cool. It had a great like tips for getting started, profiles of like the starters. It really got you on your way to that journey. I definitely read through that entire thing front to back on the drive home before I even started playing Pokemon on my Game Boy.
Yeah, Jericho sent over a video of this to show tonight, which I totally forgot about this. Like
I used it.
Me too.
Sick.
Yeah, I actually like had notes written down in mine. It's in my mom's basement, but like I just love that you could like take notes in it. Or maybe I'm misremembering. Like I remember taking notes in my Pokemon manual and my Sonic the Hedgehog guide. Because like you could keep up with your scores, and I used to race my cousin in Sonic. But like I love like the section in the manual, like because at the time, like obviously you can't go look up things on the internet. There ain't no internet.
Yeah.
So you relied on the little guides that came in the games, and like there was so much there. And like for Pokemon, like especially like it's the art, you know, like the old school art that now you could see on a T-shirt and have to spend like $100 on because now it's so retro. But the art in them was just so good and it introduced you to every region, what routes, the map. But I think my favorite part was just like taking my own little notes in it. I wish I had, before we had this topic, like I got to get back to my mom's basement, which is a bar. Also, that's a great bar name.
Ooh, yeah, there's a place in Atlanta called My Parents' Basement. That's a bar
so good.
and a comic book shop.
Oh, what my favorite kind of little
great
place. My mom's Crouch. That's not the right word. Crotch. Is
No,
what
I like Crouch a lot. I like
my
Crouch a
mom's
lot.
Crouch is the bar I would have.
You know, I too, like you mentioned, you wanted to go to your mom's basement to get all these things. I went to my storage unit to try to find as much as I could, but my storage unit is such a fucking mess that I couldn't. I failed in my search for things. But so soon I will have things back in my possession, like the God of War collector's edition with the hammer. Things like that. But we don't need to talk about collector's editions yet. Manuals. And on that same vein of manuals, the fucking walkthrough guides, like that you would buy from like EB Games or GameStop or whatever. Like obviously
you bought it with the game, it was like 20% off.
Yes, and like obviously we haven't had a need for those for so long because of places like IGN and you know that kind. You can just Google it now. But I really, really miss that era because I think of them in the same like 6, 7. I think of them in the same way of like manuals and the guidebooks of the flipping through and looking for answers and clues and lore because there was nowhere else to get lore about these things that we loved. I can't think of a specific manual though that I like was attached to or drawn to in particular. But I do remember like flipping through them all the time, and yeah, that drive home, Jake, was always so good.
So good.
I just remember like literally getting so excited just to read the manual for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, like 2 and 3, but especially 3 was like, oh my, because that's how I learned about what Sonic's adventure was going to be next. I didn't get game trailers. I was just some kid that I'm like, Mom, the next Sonic game's coming out. Please get it for me. It's all I want to play, Sonic the Hedgehog. And yeah, it was just cool. Like I was just reading like, oh, what? This is who Knuckles is? What the fuck? That's so cool. And like, it was just neat. Like,
Yeah.
those are cool.
Mom, what's
I
an
love
echidna?
Sonic. Didn't ask you that. I couldn't say that. I say that word yet. Obviously, I can't.
Yeah, it's
Still
a weird
can't say
word.
words.
They're tough. Words are tough. What about game like box art? Are there any box arts that you are particularly fond of from childhood or adulthood?
Mass Effect 3.
Ooh, Mass Effect 3's box art is so good. Very
Only
good.
because
So
this
good.
is my last thing, and I'll just be done before I forget.
Cool.
Yeah, because you could flip the cover over, and FemShep could be on there.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hate
yeah.
that you had to flip it over to get to FemShep. The best shepherd,
Yeah.
some might say.
Did you get the? Didn't it come with the hand thing, or that collector's edition, or am I thinking of something else?
Well, here's the problem. I didn't play these until like 2 years after it
That's right,
ended.
that's
So
right.
if there
Yep.
was anything, I missed out on any collector's edition. This is literally what I had. I bought these games back to back because I was just like, let's just fucking ride this wave. And that was just the best like 2 months of gaming I ever had in my life.
yeah,
because it's
dude.
the first time I played them back to back,
So
twice in a row.
Mass Effect 3 was I think one of the first games where Rose realized that like I play a lot of video games, and that because that came out like right around the time when we were dating because it was 2010, right? I believe.
2012 is when
2012.
3 came out, and that's when me and Audrey started dating too.
Nice. So we had been
That's when we
dating a
found
couple
love.
years at that point, but just like I wouldn't stop playing that game. Like I was like, everything's built to this, Rose. Like I have to play Mass Effect 3 all weekend. She's like, oh, you really like video games, huh? It's like,
Yes,
yeah, I do.
there's just nothing like it for real. We can both say we found love in the year of Mass Effect 3. I'll
yeah,
say,
for sure.
yeah, it's a good year to find love.
Patrick's been saying it was the year of Coney, so that's a good replacement, I think.
Finally, I can replace anything but Coney 2012. For some reason, I went to like the GameCube era for me, especially like disc art. Like I feel like there was like a motif. Might not be using motif correctly in this instance of GameCube disc art, where like it was very like the outlines often were like silver and like almost translucent, kind of.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
So cool.
Where like
shiny.
yeah, it was very shiny. It was shiny forward. That's
you go.
That's a great example. I think of like the Luigi's Mansion disc art, especially, and also the GameCube being the tiny little disc was so cute. Was so great. But I'm gonna look for some of those examples. Jake, do you have any box art or game art you want to talk about?
Yeah, my top 2 games of all time are Kingdom Hearts 2 and Final Fantasy X. And Final Fantasy X, I think, has perfect box art. I'm just a sucker for like a water scene, and all that blue is just so good, especially with like Titus' sword, Brotherhood, and all that. But I actually don't gravitate towards the Kingdom Hearts 2 box art. However, I think the Kingdom Hearts 1 box art is fucking sublime. Like it is the nicest thing, and it's that dark, that like navy blue. It looks so nighttime. It's like silhouettes of characters that you can kind of barely see. It is a really, really good vibe. Kingdom
so
Hearts
strong.
1 box art. Mm-hmm. Iconic.
It's very,
Classy
very
as fuck. Kinky in
Look
the
at
air.
it. Oh, look at it.
Oh yeah,
Oh, it's so good.
that's the stuff.
Yes. The Zelda games always have like
Yes.
incredible box art. This one, of course, also Metro Prime 2, like that. I remember being so enamored because it was like, it's got the whole like light world, dark world thing, and like the cover's kind of shiny. Her visor's got this cool little thing at the top of it now. It's peak character design, by the way. I remember being like so enamored with that, just like so excited to go to GameSpot and like pick it up, or GameStop. Lucy James did not hand me a copy in her former job of this game, unfortunately. It was a GameStop instead, or maybe EB Games at the time.
What y'all know
Remember EB
about
games?
Zelda Four Swords Adventures on the GameCube?
Yeah.
Swords?
Oh,
Never played that.
sick.
I sort of lost my time in GameCube era.
The game
So-
is fine, but
So
I
good.
remember specifically the disc of like, because so you could play. There were like 4 links, and it could be a 4-player co-op game.
this-
And the disc was so fucking cool with the 4 different links all like looking awesome, and it was Toon Link, which is my favorite link. Oh, that's so good.
I'm gonna look this
Toon
up.
Link
I want
is
to
such
see
a
it.
good Smash Brothers character, like incredible.
Yeah. High school.
On top of the
should
games.
have played. We should have played in person Four Swords Adventures. That was a huge miss on our part.
man.
Also, Noah bringing up Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, but specifically the Shinkawa covers. Let me pull those up because I know what you're talking about, and they're so fucking good.
Ooh, while you're there,
Yeah.
branching
Four
off
swords.
Go ahead.
Four Swords Adventures has a cover art style that reminds me a lot of the Mario Strikers original cover art
Yeah.
with the really big,
Oh, yeah.
thick, stylistic black outlines. Really cool. They'd eventually
That's
use
hot.
that style in the 3DS version of Smash Brothers, which was always really,
That's true.
I think, pretty rad.
Patrick, branching off of Metal Gear Solid 2, I don't know if y'all ever played this little game. Also, Kojima Konami joined Zone of Enders.
Zone of the Enders.
Yes, sorry, Zone of the Enders. Yeah, that box art is insane.
Let's see.
It is so good.
I didn't play it. I know of it. Oh yeah, very.
I was obsessed with that game.
very metal, very.
Oh, no, so see if you can find the original cover, because that's like that's cool, but it's different than the one I was thinking.
I was about to say this isn't like very good. Is it this guy?
Let's see. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
It is so good. Jehuti.
I have maybe like the best case for why we need video game boxes is possibly the Pokemon series. So
Yeah.
much came down to the decision of which version you made or
Yeah.
which version you chose was like, which box did you like more? Which box legendary did you want in your game? And of course, it started with red and blue and it was starters and you could go either way with them. But eventually those became a really big deal. You know, you'd look
Sure.
at Violet and Scarlet and you would be like, okay, well, based on the color, I don't know like which one I want. And then you see the creature and you're like, oh, I gotta get the red one. And that's happened, you know, all the way up through this. We're going to possibly reach a point where after Wind and Waves, maybe the next Pokemon doesn't have box legendaries. Key
Maybe.
art legendaries, it doesn't have the same ring.
Maybe.
No. I just, I think it's interesting that like nothing's been copied from that, unless I'm just like not thinking too far outside. But I'm like, a lot of things about Pokemon have been emulated. It's just crazy that we don't have two types of games with every launch of something else. I'm glad that.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I don't. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they did that once with Fire Emblem. It
Okay,
was
so someone's
weird.
tried it.
Oh, that was
Okay.
like Birthright and Conquest, right? And then they put out a
Yes.
third one that was DLC.
Yeah, that was like I think technically it may have been free DLC, but either way, you had to have one of those two games to play it though. So you technically it was
Yeah.
like paid in the sense that you had to own the game, and that was like the golden route where you I guess like mediated the conflict or something. I don't know. I just remember spoilers for an old 3DS game. Sorry, I just remember like. It sounds like a Pokemon situation where you're like, okay, like, do I think that these like, gothy black and purple, vibe kind of people are the cool ones, or the ones that are like red and white and like, cherry blossom vibes? And like the whole idea was, okay, like, do you want to go with like your found family or your blood relatives? Kind of like a situation. Except the actual plot of the game was like, Dark Conquest family like murders your father, kidnaps you as an infant, and raises you as one of their own. It's not like it's a found family. It's like no, they kidnapped you actually, and then in like the prologue, your mom gets murdered by them too, and it's like who do you want to stay? Who do you want to side with?
What are you
Yeah.
talking about? What game is this?
Fire Emblem Conquest and
Fire
Birthright.
Emblem. I see.
Yeah,
I
it's
lost
like
what we
did-
were talking about.
I lost the
completely.
plot so heavy.
I'm so sorry.
I was like,
We
I
went
didn't
so many
know.
places I was not expecting.
High School Weekly could probably
Nintendo did
keep up.
try to recapture the magic of the Pokemon boxes a couple times. First party they tried with, well, they didn't try, but Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons are like companion games, although they're pretty
Okay.
different from each other, honestly.
True.
Like despite being like similar and released at the same time. But then I think the biggest, probably like most blatant ripoff is the Battle Network games. There was like Mega Man
Oh,
Battle
yeah.
Network 3 white or 3 blue or red and yellow and stuff like that. That's all I can think of though.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. Yeah.
No,
I'm just
not a
sort
lot.
of glad that Pokemon's kept it to itself. Like it's been
yeah, how
sort of cool.
interesting that.
Yeah. That's
But- and,
another
like-
podcast topic, but whatever.
Well, sure, but
Gotta catch them all.
I fear you must. That's the tagline. But I know that Pokemon is like its own fucking beast. Like it's such a white whale.
Monster?
Sure, it's such a white whale in that like very few franchises can have the sales that Pokemon has. There's like a handful that almost are close to what they do. But yeah, the fact that more people haven't tried that same approach is interesting to me. I bet Palworld will eventually, but I guess we'll see. Any other box art things that come to mind for y'all? for me, how about Persona 4 Golden? Anybody?
Very good.
Any knowers?
I have that, but I bought it and I was like, this looks so cool. 'Cause after I played Persona 5, I was like, ooh, I really want to play this. It's just too old. But I appreciate how cool it looks.
Yeah.
I might just toss out like an honorable mention, Mortal Kombat 2, to just take that logo and make it nighttime with the lightning bolts. Oh man, I was like, you made Mortal Kombat more badass.
Yeah.
Like I need to own this bad.
Very good.
The Spider-Man Maximum Carnage from SNES. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
That was one of the boxes I was looking for in storage. Was my Maximum Carnage Sega?
It had the sick red box and the sick red cartridge both.
That's cool.
It was so good.
Very good.
There was a game that came out sequentially. It was like Spider-Man 1 based off of the Tobey Maguire movie Spider-Man 2. And then there's a game called Ultimate Spider-Man, which was a cel-shaded game that used that same engine. Had great box art, but it also had a great collector's edition box art because the hook for that game wasn't only cel-shaded. It was that you could play as Venom for half of the game as well. So the regular box art was all red and had Spider-Man's face. And then the collector's edition was like all purple and had badass Venom artwork. But they both looked like two halves of the same whole. It was really cool.
Jake, you just like activated me, dude. Like that, I loved that game so much. And I'm pretty sure I lent it to my cousins and then they never gave it back. So,
Tough.
yeah. Very tough.
It's unfortunate.
Get it back.
Get it back.
I'm sure never mind. I shouldn't finish that thought. I've had a couple cousins with some past troubles. Let's just say that.
Okay.
I think they're doing better now, though. So good for them. But just give them my shit back. You know.
Yeah, no, for sure. What else? I feel like I'm missing something. What are we not talking about?
I have a laundry list here if you guys want me to
Jeez.
throw through. Like, okay, so one of my favorite things about physical media is like the actual like games and cases physically themselves. So I know we came here to talk about like box art and manuals and whatnot, but like let me just show you, follow my thought process, see if there's any that I'm missing here as we run through them and reminisce, because I feel like I'm going to get you guys to ooh and ah at a couple of these. But like the NES dust covers that used to come with those cartridges, like black slots.
Yep.
Unbelievable. The Sega Genesis game cases being the
I
first
love how
ones
they
that have
feel.
like a plastic, yes, and they have like that kind of like old school like book cover, like it's so nice.
It's just solid. It's almost like not, because PC boxes used to be like massive, right? Like a box of popcorn, something stupid. But whenever they went to smaller cases, that always reminded me of like a Genesis box. It's just like a solid square little rectangle. It goes right in the bookshelf, y'all.
Have you ever, with those kinds of boxes, like Sega is actually the best for it. You have a stack of them. You open up all of them, and then you push them all down, and it's
Yes.
oh my god!
Can we do that on a podcast
so
too?
nice.
We got to collect
Yes.
some. I got a few upstairs.
Dude,
it's such a
when I used to
satisfying sound.
I used to work at GameStop for a good couple of years when I was a kid, and I used to get so efficient at like checking games to make sure they had discs for like trade-ins, and I would just open up like a stack of like 20 discs and then just flip them on their side and do that same thing all the time so efficiently. I yearn for it frequently.
Broke the discs every time, but it sounded cool. So.
No, never.
No, never.
The Genesis, though, in particular, I feel like that was the console where something about like the NES and the Super Nintendo when I was a kid, it was like action figure, pull it out of the packaging. NES game, pull it out of the packaging, throw that shit in the trash. Like I didn't keep my stuff when I was a kid for boxes for that stuff. And it wasn't until the Genesis until I don't know, it was the material that was like, oh, I'm meant to keep this. This is supposed to be like displayed like a book, unlike the cardboard boxes that I was throwing away. So hot on the Genesis. Speaking of, I don't love a jewel case, which is a lot of things like ended up being, as you get up like to the Genesis, but the PS1 starting with those massive cardboard boxes, the really long ones. Do you guys remember like the first run of
I've had a few
PlayStation
of those,
games?
and they were so weird. I don't remember.
They're big.
I had a couple, but I can't remember what games they were.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
was
have
strange.
my Twisted Metal. My original Twisted Metal is like an extra long cardboard box that kind of opens up like a Genesis box somewhat. It's a
remember my
very
grandmother-
interesting material.
Got one of these long games for me, and I thought it was like a scam. I was like, my grandmother bought some kind of fake game, but I'm gonna use it. She's got a contact somewhere. I didn't know, like at the time, I thought it was something weird. I didn't trust it.
I don't I ever saw one of these. I pulled up the
Me
Twisted
neither.
Metal one. This is new to me.
Yeah,
Jake,
very short-lived.
Is Twisted Metal that racing game?
Yes, that's exactly right. Go listen to that episode. You'll hear it debated. This I saw Cirrus bring this into the conversation earlier with Pokemon, but it extends back even further than that. But any cartridge with a cool color, the Nintendo 64 had a bunch, the gold Zelda ones, but like Pokemon Crystal. I mean, have you guys ever seen
Yes.
that cartridge?
I got two
it's the
of
most
them.
beautiful cartridge I've ever seen in my life.
I have two, and I specifically went and like got the Japanese version because it has like a little. It's on the back. It's like a little bit more see through, and you can like see the battery.
Oh,
very
it's like
niche.
two-toned, right? Isn't it?
Yeah,
For Crystal like that?
Not the version I got. It's just like extra more see through, like on the
Okay,
back of
got
the. Maybe it's more like the English one is like a two-tone, like see
That
through,
might
but
be it.
also there's something about it. But the Japanese version
very
like
cool.
looks better. Couldn't
There
play it
is
because I couldn't read
nothing
it, but it
better
looked
than
cool.
like a picture of someone's Pokemon collection, and they have like ruby, sapphire, blue, red, yellow, gold, silver. Like it's just like this unbelievable spread of colors. Is really really cool.
Saw it.
Okay, I got an obscure poll for you.
Clear.
I feel like everyone is going to align with this, but nobody has thought of it. Do you guys know about how soft the outside of the Wii U discs feel on your finger?
No,
Does
No,
anybody have a
I-
Wii U?
I know
Like-
that's like one of like the only main Nintendo console I
Dude,
ever had.
they're just like Blu-ray discs, but the outside of them are like perfectly like rounded, like
I don't
obviously
know why I just
by
did that.
some sort of special
I
machine
do.
that pressed it. But it's unbelievable when you grab that disc out of there and you put your finger on it. You're like, oh, ooh,
Oh,
this is nice. This is a quality product.
Mama. Sounds like I need to
GameCube-
use
Hold
on
on,
a
I
Wii
think
U.
I actually have one.
Yes. Yeah. We talked about it a little bit, but GameCube mini discs, so novel, so
Yeah,
cool.
So cool.
Take it back even further. The black discs from the PlayStation 1
Yeah, those
on
I
the
know
bottom,
of.
very cool.
Yeah.
That was a
Speaking-
cool thing.
Speaking of weird things we would do with the discs, Jake, or the whole
Jesus
panel.
Christ.
No, not that. Did you ever? Because the GameCube, the way that it functioned, for anyone who was unlucky enough not to have ever owned one, it was a top loader. It didn't like slide in like most CD drives would. It was like it's a top loader.
Oh, yeah.
And so you could start the game and then open up the cover. And the game would still spin, and you could still play the game even though the cover was
Yeah,
open.
that's right. I also loved the way that you. Yes,
What part
Jerica's
of my
got
Yes.
this
it.
is-
Also,
This
one
is
of my
high
favorite
score
box
weeklies.
arts I've ever seen is the Wii
yeah.
U Zelda.
It's so
oh,
good.
it's so
It is
good.
so good.
Yeah.
One day, High Score Weekly will get his Wii U back from me. I haven't yet played this yet, but it seems
But
like
it's
I'm gonna
not this
have to
day.
because I don't think it's coming out anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I touched it and I agree. Yeah, I get what you're saying. This is it. Am I touching
No,
here?
pull it
No,
out
the
and then
actual
touch the
outside of the
outer
disc.
edge.
The rim of the disc.
Oh shit, we're going deep. I couldn't.
Yes.
There's a lot of.
Josh is watching this
touch.
just pissing himself. Like, don't touch my disc like that.
Oh no, I'm sure he's done this
know.
before. I know he
The
smelled
disc
it.
itself, not the
Now,
box.
now touch the outside of the
I
disc.
just like touching the inside of the case.
I don't blame you.
There's a
I'm
lot
so
of
jealous.
You
I'm
feel
not
that
gonna mess
smooth
it
edge?
up, but it is thick. It's butter. I want to
Yes,
lick
it's
it,
butter.
but I'm afraid
It's smooth.
Josh has also licked it.
Josh
not
is
gonna do it,
definitely
Josh.
like that for sure.
Well, it's a little fluid exchange between friends.
That's so true.
Yeah, not bad.
Those are
I'm
words.
just thinking right now, talking about the GameCube mini discs, two very different sensations from this time, but satisfying both in their own way. Clicking the mini disc into the GameCube and then releasing it by pressing that middle button so it
Yep.
kind of pops out for you. And the PlayStation 2 top loader, the redesign, the Slim, pushing the disc
Yeah.
into that
Ooh.
satisfying like you knew that thing was clicked in there.
Yeah.
Ooh, that thing was
I mean,
nice to
also
load.
any sort of like clicking in of games. I mean, the NES, the original, like you kind of push it in and it goes down. Like it didn't just. That,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It had the little ridge for your
That's
finger
right.
that you would like. Oh,
A little reach for my finger.
Yeah,
The
the little-
eject on the. I mean, we're still gonna have video game consoles, I guess. Like we're going a little too deep. They aren't eliminating physical consoles, just physical boxes. But
Ah.
on the Super Nintendo, like pressing the little button to eject the.
And it pops out. Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, that's nice. We talked PS1 black discs, but we didn't talk the PS2 launch discs that were CDs and not DVDs. Were that like really deep purple, like PlayStation blue?
Yeah, that's
Also very, very slick. The first time checking out a Blu-ray with the anti-scratch coating on the PlayStation 3,
Yeah.
like the bottom of those discs, really slick.
But still scratching.
Jake,
So true.
I'm so sorry. Can I tell a really quick Blu-ray story?
Of course.
So, like many red-blooded Americans, I did watch and enjoy the first Avatar movie in 3D. Was very impressed by it. But it's a long film. If you have not seen it, it's like 3 hours long. And so I found this like returned Blu-ray player at Best Buy as my first Blu-ray player. It was like so incomplete as far as the box is concerned that I had to go buy like a universal remote because they didn't have a remote with it. But I was like, my first Blu-ray purchase has got to be Avatar. Gonna be Avatar. And I'm going to wait until my lovely girlfriend, now wife, wants to watch it with me so we can watch it together because I don't want to watch it all by myself and watch it again because it's so long. We never watched it once.
Oh,
Yeah.
My
You
first
should fast
Blu-ray
forward to the
that I ever
birthing
owned.
scene.
I think I watched the menu on a loop for like 5 minutes once, but that was the extent of my Avatar Blu-ray. And
Yeah. I've got the HD DVD attachment for my Xbox 360 that came with King Kong.
Nice.
you still have that?
Yeah,
It's
that's
somewhere.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's- I
God.
forgot about, you've mentioned this before, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that. But I feel like now again, it's happened again. I forgot all
Yeah.
about that. How
Yeah.
weird.
The only
What's-
thing that I have is those, and I think the Matrix movies were exclusive to HD DVD at that point.
I mean, how do
so I
those
have that
people feel
trilogy.
now? The whole, all
one of
you
them
can't, they
terrible.
can't. Those people can't watch anything anymore except like those 5 movies.
True.
What if
There's more
Microsoft
than
brings
that.
back HD DVD for the Project Helix in case Sony decides to stop Blu-ray production entirely? I mean,
It's time. It's time. HD
Bad
DVD,
tasting Switch
red.
carts. That's right.
That was a
Bad
fun
tasting Switch
time.
cards, yeah.
Bad tasting
Oh,
Switch
also
carts.
speaking of a game going into console and out of console, I mean the Switch still the pop up feels good.
great.
Oh, it is good.
Great.
Mm.
and I love on the Switch 2 with the it's no longer this like rinky dink little like flimsy plastic. It's like this really nice like hinged thing that you have to like pull up and it's much nicer. It feels better to do.
Yeah, like the little cover for it.
Yeah.
Nintend's been good at that for a long time. Like the original DS cartridges, really nice to put into the system as well.
Yes,
The same deal with like the
very
double
nice.
tap, not double tap, but like the push down to eject was pretty slick. The concept of the UMD, the
Yeah.
little disc in its little like cage,
Yeah.
that was very strange. And then last but not least, one of my favorite things in the world, and this is such a underrated thing that nobody ever talks about, but I have like a lifelong obsession with the original Nintendo DS cases that have a slot for your Game Boy Advance games. I thought that was the coolest
That's
thing in the
right.
world. Like
forgot
I
about
now have a
that.
place for these to sit on the shelf. It's no longer in like a little thing. And as my DS collection expanded, I would slot in and I would like make little matches, and I'm like, in my Pokemon Leaf Green goes inside of my Nintendo Pokemon Black
cool.
card. Like,
Yeah.
and, like
Aw.
I was like, I need to get 27 DS games, so I'll be able to have more DS games than my 26 Game Boy Advance games. So I'll be able to slot them all into a case.
Smart.
Hot.
The best.
That reminds me, Sirius had put in the Discord the Wipeout Pure UMD PSP. Let me pull this up.
That was very cool.
Talk about box art. That is fucking sick. Which is very good. And then also, I feel like underrated box art is the Portal 2 box art.
Yes,
Of like the little
strong.
guy
Oh, very good.
going from one portal
Atlas.
to the other. Very, very good.
And I forgot the other one's name.
Peabody.
Peabody. Aw.
I also forgot to bring
So
up
good.
as far as like cool, because I think it was Coal Mines that put in the chat earlier about favorite modern box art, and like, I mean, Control already was like a pretty cool box art, like like the inverted pyramid, and she's got her hands out because she's got powers or whatever. But the Control Ultimate Edition box art is so sick.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is
I
that the
would
one
know.
with
I
her
bought
big
it 3
head?
times. Yeah.
Yeah. Her big old head. Yeah. Very, very
Oh,
good.
yeah. That's all I have for my like physical media old reminiscing about
Yeah.
how things feel and look.
Other newer ones, I think the Blueprints box art is so good.
Yes.
Oh,
Very good.
Patrick, remind me on a side note. Audrey's, that's all she's been doing the last 2 weeks. How many hours do you have in Blueprints now?
My heart.
I'm finally telling Patrick you're back on it. Moment of truth.
Moment
She's
of
gonna
truth.
look. I'll update you here in a second. Oh, she's about to have it. 130.
Wow.
Nice.
She's on,
Impressive.
She tries to explain things.
That's
for
more
me,
than
but
me.
This has gotten really beyond my comprehension.
It's very good. need
I
to
can
talk to
only
her
do
about
the
this game.
basic.
Oh,
Yeah,
what a
yeah,
game, what a game.
yes.
I've almost bought it for Switch 2 multiple times.
You should. Tears of the Kingdom, anybody? In terms of awesome box
yes.
art?
Dude, I
So
love
good. And
that
then the
box
alternate?
art. I don't even know the alternate. I need to see it. But I love that the Tears of the Kingdom box art does something that I really appreciate. And it's like Breath of the Wild is such a mostly like symmetrical box art. It's very centered like most box arts are. And Tears of the Kingdom plays with this idea of like basically like the central piece of its key art is only in the top right corner, which is like I feel like brave to do, but it really sets it apart. It's so distinct comparatively. I love that box art. Strong pick.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Patrick. I may have misspoke. I don't believe that was ever like official box art given for the game, but that was like they released that other key art at least like digitally, and so as you can see on the people are printing it off and selling the case for it. And I didn't really mention that earlier. That's something that I really love about like the physical Switch games, like these collector's editions that I keep getting. If you want to go and rip that Band-Aid off, because like. I mean, that little shelf is like the quintessential cog because, I mean, it has Neva, it has Grease, it has Animal Well, and they're all these like collector's editions that all like have alternate art to them. There are so many, even Final Fantasy VII Rebirth had the alternate art. Octopath Traveler 0, I got that as a Christmas present the past year, it has alternate, like really, really cool box art to it. And so like, I don't know how common it is for other consoles because I haven't had anything besides the Switch or a Switch 2 for a while now. But like just the alternate art that comes in these games, and this is for Octopath. Like
It's very good.
very, very cool. Because I forget who that Jake, do you know who the artist is for the Octopath games? Is it?
No.
Steve Octopath, I think.
That's right. Steve
Also,
Octopath is edited by John Traveler.
You mentioned like recent games too. One that I keep going to, and I literally bought physically, like not because of all this either. I just bought it because I'm like, this box art looks so hot with the Switch 2 like red box, and it's Orbitals. Like, why would I not buy the physical copy of that? And it looks sick. I got it brought up right now, and it's like blinding me because there's like 5 million versions.
Remember after that Nintendo Direct when we sniped that key art was going to be the inverted cover or whatever, the alternate cover of DK and Pauline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
So sick.
Also,
We like had Josh go and open his and like film something.
yeah. Silly Duck in the chat called out Dragon Warrior on the NES.
Oh,
I
dude.
totally forgot about Dragon Warrior and the box art for that game.
I'm not familiar. Are you pulling it up right now?
It's up right
Oh
now.
my god, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, I miss the era of, and like it ties all this together of like back when life was just simpler, and so the people making games had the creative freedom and the license and the money to just like do weird shit with like box art, manuals, pack-ins, like all those things that now it's just about the profit of it all that we just don't get that shit anymore. Yeah, usually.
I got one last one that I thought of, and now I need to say it out loud or I'll never be complete again.
Okay.
Sonic Adventure 1 box art.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
The full circle, and he's throwing up like the little signs. It's too fucking good. It's too
I almost
cool.
brought up
It's
Adventure 2 for the GameCube.
Adventure 2 is strong.
specifically.
Shadow. It's hot.
Yeah. Oh,
Jeez.
so good. So good. Any final things that we didn't get to that you guys really have to say?
Yeah, again, I just like I love, for me, a lot of what I'm getting. I think I put this in the Discord at some point. Like, it's my Metroids and it's these gorgeous collector's editions. Like, even if it's just Animal Well with like that the art for Animal Well that I have, it didn't come with like an art book. It wasn't the big fancy box of Jericho got, but it's just alternate art from the indie artist who did the key art for UFO 50. That's who did that artwork for Animal Well, the edition that I got from Lost and Colt.
Yeah.
But like Neva and Grease, they both came with not only alternate cover arts, but also like mini art books that came with them, because obviously the art style in those games is stunning. And so like there's so many games that I like to pick up that come with things like that. And they also came with the soundtracks, which are beautiful. So like, for me, I get mocked a lot, lovingly, I think, by Mr. the Human because of how much I rebuy games. And it's like, this is part of it for me is like, yes, I do rebuy games just to have it like on a different console so I can play it on the Switch instead of just my PC or whatever, but also just to like show my appreciation for these things that I love so much by getting something that can go on the shelf, then maybe has something, a little knickknack or a little piece of art that's not stained or that comes with it or something. As just like another way to, especially for indies, just show your appreciation for these, smaller teams that do these things that we love. So that's something that I really hope that Nintendo continues to support. They haven't shown any indication they're not going to. Even like Piscatella and whoever else, as far as like analysts are concerned in that realm, are saying like, yeah, even though Helix is probably not going to have disk drive, like we don't foresee, at least bare minimum for the duration of the Switch 2's life cycle, that there's no way they're going to be the ones to back out of physical media. So I hope that rings true because that's the only means of physical media I've been having for years anyway. So
seeing all three of those, Neva, Grease, and Animal Well, do you know what those all have in common?
They
What?
suck.
They're all 7 out of 10s, baby.
I know you too well.
You had to see it coming.
Had to see it. Well, folks, unless there's any other final thoughts, let us know what you thought we forgot. Box art, manuals, physical media, things in the comments, or even better, go to dropinddropouppod.com, join the Discord. Every single week, we post about the episode that we're going to have. We have a little discussion thread that we like to pull from, as also in the chat. We pull from the chat as well. But join the Discord. Be a part of the conversation. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will return so very soon. And there are some games coming out that we want to stream. We don't have official plans yet. So if you join the Discord also, you'll know when that's happening. But I think at the very least, lock in a backyard baseball stream next week for your boy, launching a week from today, and I couldn't be more excited. All right, y'all. Thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody. Until then, bye-bye. Bye.